Alright, so a lot of different movies came out this holiday weekend, and if I wanted to, I could be talking about Wonder Woman 1984 or the new Pixar movie Soul, but instead I'm going to talk about the new Robert Rodriguez kids film, We Can Be Heroes. So I think anyone who is familiar with Robert Rodriguez knows about the kids movies that he makes. These are movies that are specifically made for kids. Most adults will see them and simply roll their eyes, but partially because I am a big fan of his work, I actually kind of love these movies. I think Spy Kids, the first one, is the only one of his children's films that's like genuinely good. But even with that said, there's still something about them that I find myself enjoying, and I think a lot of that is just the sheer innocence of them. We Can Be Heroes is a film that is a bit of everything. It has a bit of everything you'd come to expect from his movies. I'd say this movie is kind of like a Spy Kids meets Shark Boy and Lava Girl, or maybe Sky High. It's got a bit of Sky High in there. Now, when they were advertising this movie, Netflix heavily advertised it as a Shark Boy and Lava Girl sequel, or the big return of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, which is complete bullshit. We Can Be Heroes is a sequel to Shark Boy and Lava Girl in the same way that The Avengers is a sequel to Iron Man. Maybe even less so, because those two are barely in this movie, and the only reason that they really are in this film is because Robert Rodriguez is known to have this shared universe with his kids' movies. I mean, Machete and Spy Kids, those are the same universe. That's just something he likes to do for fun. Obviously, Taylor Lautner did not return for this movie, which is really disappointing. It doesn't really matter. It's not like Shark Boy Lava Girl was ever that good to begin with, but they got Taylor Dooley back, but they couldn't get Taylor Lautner. I mean, what gives? What is Taylor Lautner even doing that he couldn't be in a Robert Rodriguez film? I mean, that's the chance of a lifetime. They didn't even bother to give the new guy they cast as him a voice. It's almost insulting. Also, the fact that it's still Shark Boy and Lava Girl and not Shark Man and Lava Woman is a bit weird, but, whatever. The point is, if you are going to watch this movie because you want to see Shark Boy and Lava Girl, just don't. Anyway, so putting those two aside, what is this movie about? Well, it's about a group of superheroes known as the Heroics, who end up getting captured by aliens, so their superpowered kids and Missy, who is a girl with no superpowers, have to rescue them. It's basically just Spy Kids, but with superheroes instead of spies. Robert Rodriguez is clearly using the popularity of superheroes and shared universes for this film, which is something that I often find annoying when kids' movies try to do that, because it's just trying to bank in on the popular trend. But you know what? I think he uses it in a good way. I'm fine with how he does it in this film. It's also important to note that Rodriguez was doing the shared universe thing before Marvel ever was, so he was actually ahead of the game. All the kids in this movie do pretty good. I mean, this isn't like a movie that you'd cast kids in to win Oscars. They're not Oscar winners, but they're more like Disney Channel quality actors, and they all do a fine job. The effects, of course, are bad in this movie, but it's in that charming way where I don't really care that they're bad, and I think most kids definitely won't care. All of the kids in this movie also have fun superpowers. Some of them are really cool and creative, some of them a bit useless, but either way, it's just a bunch of fun. One of my favorite scenes in this movie is when they're just going around the room introducing their powers. It's just something I imagined that for kids would be a lot of fun to watch. A lot of people seem to think that kids' movies have to appeal to adults as well, and this is something that I completely disagree on. I think it depends on what kind of movie you're making. If you go watch a show on Disney Channel, I might not enjoy that, but chances are a lot of kids do, and I think that's perfectly fine. This movie is somewhere between the original Spy Kids and Spy Kids 4. I'd say, if we're talking about in terms of Robert Rodriguez films, it's on par with the Spy Kids sequels, which, isn't great, but definitely watchable. And if you are going to compare this to Shark Boy and Lava Girl, it's not as funny or as weird as that one, but as I said, that's something you just have to get out of your head. This is not a Shark Boy and Lava Girl sequel. This is very much its own new Robert Rodriguez children's film. I thought the movie had a really nice message too. I liked the fact that Missy does not have any powers, and there's no point in this movie where she finds out she does have powers. That's something that bothered me about Sky High, that they didn't go through with that message about not having powers. Instead, he just gets them halfway through. There's also a kid in this whose powers are just running slow, but I kind of like that. I thought his relationship with his dad was really cute, so I like that addition. And of course, being another Robert Rodriguez children's film, this is a movie all about family. You know, and obviously the family message in movies is like overdone to this point, but I think the way that Robert Rodriguez does it is always really charming. You can tell that he has a good relationship with these kids he's directing. Lately, I'd say Robert Rodriguez has proved that he hasn't lost his touch yet. I think sometime after Machete, he started making a bunch of movies that weren't very good. But now with movies like Alita and this, I think he's starting to prove that he can make good movies again. Kids will probably enjoy this movie, and that's really all that matters. This is a kids movie, and I recommend this if you're below the age of 12 or just someone who knows that you'll enjoy these kinds of movies. If you have a Netflix account, then I think you should check it out because that's where you can watch it. And that's basically it. So thank you to everyone who watched this video. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I have plenty of other videos on my channel that are all movie and TV related as well. So feel free to check those out if you want to. Goodbye.